Guten Abend. Welcome to Willkommen out. We've done this. We've done this bit. Welcome to episode 174 of Masters of the Forge. My name is Adam. I'm here with Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. Hello, everyone.
As is the usual, as per the usual. I'm not gonna blame you every time, but it's the beginning of the semester, and
dude,
it's also the time of year in upstate New York where people go outdoors a lot.
It's actually probably the most beautiful time in New York right now.
So we've been going out. We've been doing lots of stuff. When
all the fairs, the county fairs you've been hitting, all the city fairs,
doing apple picking, that's basically my Beyond the Fringe for this week is just all of that upstate New York in the fall. I guess we can get into that in a little bit, but so as such, I prioritize my hobby progress over doing a show topic. And that's just the way it is. Because I need hobby progress for mental health reasons.
Yes.
So, this is a catch-up episode. Welcome, everyone.
That's right.
So the good thing is, last episode, we had Mark talk about his Adeptus Mechanicus. That was a great narrative topic.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Really cool.
Yep.
Hope it got some folks' juices flowing. It certainly got mine flowing. I actually considered doing a narrative story, a narrative story. A story for this episode instead, and just give you a total free pass, but that didn't happen. So, so we're doing this instead. So, it looks like my hobby progress is coming first this episode because I didn't even set up the show notes for this. Look at that. That shows where my head is. I just came back from chopping up foliage in my backyard and pulling out the big tarp that goes on my pool. I hate this pool so much.
Oh, because of
I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of owning it. I'm not gonna lie. And we barely used it this year because it was so rainy in July. And then we were so busy in August. We went in it 6 times, and it cost me $300 to pull it out, and hours and hours of it was not worth it this year, and it was very frustrating. But
in previous years, there was one year you lived in it.
I did live in it, and I built models in it.
And painted models. And hold on. If I remember right, you built a bunch of plaster cast things for Hero Quest.
Yeah, it was very helpful because I could wash my hands as I went. I'm sure the plaster in the pool was fine. And Quinn and I lived in the pool all of 2020. Yeah. So I guess there's that.
Yeah, this year's just kind of
it was a meh year.
An off year.
It was
kind of a
weird
year.
Yeah, it was not great. Because we're all sick of it. We're sick of everything, and we're going out and doing stuff and, spreading disease and stuff. So there's that. So anyways, I just got back from doing that. So, and we also went on a hike today, which was really nice. Quinn and I. Yeah, he did a mile and a half walking.
Nice.
I didn't pick him up at all.
Cool.
Sonny, Quinn, and myself. It was a mile and a half, and he was fine. He was fine.
That is cool. That'll be good because you're hiking more with Jay and whatnot. And I guess there's a few of y'all that are hiking a lot. Mm-hmm. So that'll be good in a few years whenever he can.
Again, this would have all been great content for the Beyond the Fringe, which happens way after this section. But you know what? There are no rules here today. We have no rules. It's just
That's right.
It's just us sharing our thoughts. Stream of consciousness that everyone is welcome to jump on the currents and go with us.
Well, I titled this one "Catching Up with the MoFos" just because we've been off, doing crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
well, I went to Oktoberfest last night.
You did?
I went to one.
Ooh.
Yeah, my friends were playing. Friends and colleagues were playing, so I went to go watch them, and I had my obligatory beer and got a little bit of sun. But that's when you've been sitting inside an apartment for a year and a half, sun does things to you.
Yeah. There's this thing called melanin. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But it
I'm
helps.
a lot Irish, so.
Yeah, fair.
I think we drove Melanin off with the snakes back in 12th century or whatever.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible how that happened. So I think it's the Neanderthal blood,
possibly
that weak Neanderthal blood. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
Sorry, Homo sapiens superior, whatever. Anyways.
All right, hobby progress.
Stupid Europeans. So my hobby progress is all repainting, but
yes,
it was okay. Actually, it wasn't all repainting, but long story short, I'm done repainting. Sort of.
Hallelujah.
There's an asterisk, and I'll get to
that.
Well,
there always is.
Come on. That's true. There is well, there's a couple asterisks actually. Now that I think of it. So I painted the knobs. That was the toughest one, and I decided to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
The Gorker knobs. I have Morker knobs. There's already like 15 or 20, I don't know, a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But the Gorker knobs, the orange scheme, I have 33 knobs for that. That's 3 more than you can actually take in an army. But, a lot of those, I use them both as knob squads, but also just like Space Marines, you have veterans that lead squads. So the knobs also lead squads of orc boys. So it's nice to have, and they still, in the new codex, they still have the ability to take a variety of weapons. Mm-hmm. So you could actually have like a knob with like a combi scorcher, which is basically a heavy flamer. So I have just a huge variety of knobs I could use to lead squads with. But the Gorkers, I had 2 that needed repainting completely. They were in my old scheme. I had a bunch that were in the orange scheme, but if you recall last time, I had said, I don't know if I said this last time, but I decided to go from, instead of doing cream and orange, I decided to do yellow and orange. Okay. Because the yellow exists in my Morker scheme. It's yellow and blue. So it might make more sense to do yellow and orange with the Gorkers. That way that ties them together. And if I take them in an army together, at least there's a unifying color.
That's probably a good idea.
And the colors go together. Orange and yellow are fine. And also, a lot of the old models still had some yellow in them anyways.
Yeah.
So because of that, I did go back to like 20 Gorker orcs, and I just replaced all the cream with yellow, but it wasn't a big deal. It was all spot colors, like some of the checks and stuff. I just went over and painted the checks over, which if it were any other color, it would be a pain in the butt, but cream to yellow is not a big step. It's not a big deal.
No.
So I redid all those. And so that means also the like 17 or 15 or 16 beast snaggers I did during the 24-hour challenge. Those will have to be they'll have to go from cream to yellow, but again, they actually need some help too anyways. They already needed their skin brightened up. They needed some more contrast in their skin anyway, so I was going to have to revisit those anyways.
Yeah.
So back to the knobs. I also had previously built, like when I got the starter boxes for the Def Dreads, I had, it comes with each starter box comes with 5 knobs. So I had like,
how many Def Dreads did you have at one point? I mean,
11.
Okay, and then you've been like selling the ones you've been getting now.
Yeah, the one I got in the new starter, I sold that to Dave. Which thanks, Dave. I sold it for steel too, but I had to. It was ridiculous.
They're almost turning into second edition Grots for you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, I was thinking about Adepticon.
Mm-hmm.
If our listeners see us, they should give you a second edition Grot. No. Paint one up for you.
No. Well, whoa! If you're painting them, that's a different story.
Well, that's how they give you one that's painted or something like that. And there's a great
color. I'm just gonna go to Adepticon and get pelted with second edition Grots. I'll put an eye out. So anyways, I decided I've never had we talked because we talked about it when I built them, but I've never had a bunch of knobs with 2 choppas, so I did 10 knobs with choppas, and I painted those up from scratch. And when I did that, I kind of thought about the scheme and how I was going to do it going forward, and I see if I wanted to change it at all or what looked good, because I've picked different colors over time, and the repaint project has made me kind of look at that and say, well, this is stupid. Some of these models look different from other models, even though they're the same scheme. So I started to, I wrote down it's time to do the Wa flesh for the green base on the skin, where before I was just going straight to a warpstone glow and then bringing it down with a wash. But I think the Wa flesh is a better base, and then I can do a chunky highlight of the warpstone, and then I can wash it. And I'm doing I found a perfect. I've been wishy-washy about which paint to use for the blue jeans, especially since I started using blue as one of the main colors of the scheme, like the bright colors of the scheme. I wanted the denim to look different from like the armor, the shiny blue armor. So I picked the Fang for that, and that's what I've been using on their blue jeans, and that's been a really nice color for blue jeans. I like that.
Yeah, that was kind of a lighter. It's not light blue, but it's a lighter blue. It's not like a real deep blue. If I remember right.
It's a lighter but less saturated blue.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a grayish blue, like a winter blue. I mean, I guess that's why they call it the Fang. It's it's one of the colors that they use for Space Wolves.
Yeah,
they're
that's a good choice. I like that. I like that idea. I like that choice.
Thanks. Yeah, it works nicely. Especially you put a little wash on it, and if you want to distress the jeans at all, you just throw like a gray dry brush over the knees and stuff, and that'll really solidify it as denim. I did the Def Coptas, the Gorker Def Coptas. So 2 of them were already orange again, so that was really nice. I just had to turn one from white to orange, and then added yellow highlights to all of them. Of course, I kind of redid the orange on a bunch, like brought up the orange on the other 2, so that was more than just a slippity slap. It was like a 2-day ordeal.
Yeah.
The Battle Wagon was almost a full repaint. That's the Battle Wagon I have built like by the instructions.
Oh,
so it basically went from...
Should always have one.
Right, yeah, you should always have one. And that basically went from brown to just orange. It is obnoxious. I can't wait to use it on the battlefield. The next time I play, I might go ahead and just do an all Gorker army, see what it's like to run a different clan for once.
Yeah.
And that one's all magnetized and stuff too. Like I can run that Battle Wagon as just about anything, any Battle Wagon variant. I repainted 3 trucks, which those were about a 1-day ordeal. Like I said, those were basically in the right colors, except for one of them, so that wasn't a huge deal. The bikes. So the bikes are the funny story. Like I talked about this last time, how they were already... I had already repainted them, and GW knocked them down to 9 per squad.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So all the blue shirts I repainted orange, and that was a pain. That was frustrating.
Yeah.
But I did that in a couple days. Now, the Def Killer War Trike model, that was a Big Mech on bike, and I took the pump wagon and I hitched it to the back. The only thing that was left, I started repainting. I'm like, wait a minute. The Def Killer War Trike has like the War Boss on there has a claw on a chain that he like swings at people.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I didn't have one on this, so I found some plastic chain that was part of a kit somewhere. Using metal chain, jeweler's chain is fine for decoration, but it's not good for structural things. You can find plastic parts that are already looped. So this one I stuck to the back, and the Def Killer War Trike already looks like it's taking a power slide to the right. So I swung out. I took the curved chain and I made it look like the claw was swinging out to the to the right as with centrifugal force.
Yeah.
And I built a claw on the back with the lower jaw of a Death Dread decoration, which has 2 circular spots on either side of the jaw to put
Yeah.
tusks on, like circular.
Oh.
The tusks glue on,
Yeah,
but
that's
they
right.
weren't glued on. They
Uh-huh.
don't come glued on, so I left them off. And I took 2 front fender pieces from a war bike, and those
Yeah.
usually form like
Oh yeah, you
a
have two when
V.
they create.
You glue
Yeah.
you glue them together, it creates a V in the front. But instead of gluing them together like that, I took, you know how it's a circular um, connection that connects it to the bike, right?
Yeah.
Normally. So
On
instead I
the
took
front of the
those
wheels. Yeah.
circular sections and glued them to where the jaw, like the teeth are usually glued onto the jaw to create like a pincer, create a pincer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's the Def Killer War Strike was what I think it looks really fun now. And I had a leftover squig from the squig buggy, and it normally sits on the fender of the squig buggy, and its tongue is sticking out. And it's
Yeah.
really excited to be on the buggy. So instead, I put it on the base, jumping off a rock, and with its
Yeah.
tongue hanging out, it's chasing the war trike alongside. It's cute.
That
So
is cute.
so yeah, so that is all the repainting, and I was hemming and hawing about whether I should do the full photograph of the army because I still have a lot to build and paint, like from new.
Yeah.
And I decided if I decided to wait until I was done painting all my orc models, I was never going to take a picture. So I decided
That's
that now is a good time to take a picture. Now that all the repaints are done and everything's
yeah.
finished. It was I I knew I didn't have the space to take a picture of everything anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't have
That was something
space.
I was going to start suggesting that maybe you start taking pictures of just certain groups, I guess. Like maybe
Yeah.
only air. Well, hold on. I was going to say only aircraft, but you've got the Thundork.
Thunder. So yeah. So
Yeah.
what I decided to do was split everything up by army.
Yeah.
So
Good idea.
the Gorkers were easy. That's only like a quarter of my army is the Gorkers, the orange.
Yeah.
So I set those up on about a 4-foot section of table, and right next to them also I had the mercenaries, which is another about a quarter of my army. Actually, those two are actually like each a fifth of my army, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I set that up next to it as 2 separate photographs. So when you're taking pictures like this, you have to do it in like a trapezium, which is I think a trapezoid with 2 equal sides and 1 small side, 1 large side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is
Okay.
that a
Yeah.
parallelogram? No. Well, whatever it is, it's
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. You have to set it up.
It's a corner desk.
Yeah, it's like wider in the back, skinnier in the front
Yeah.
because you're taking a picture at an angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not, doing an overhead picture that would look idiotic. So I had those 2 set up,
Look
and
at all the bases.
I took those pictures the same night I set them up. I tried taking pictures
Yeah.
during the day, but the pool is blue, and the light coming in from outside added blue tone to everything, and all the lights are yellow. And it was just it was a disaster. I had light blue from the side, yellow from the top, and when you try to normalize the temperature of the picture, it just washes
It
out
doesn't
all the
work.
color.
Yeah.
So that's not
Okay.
good. So I took those when I set up the markers, the blue and yellow. It took up a whole 6-foot section of table, and you couldn't see, and it was really just a big blob. And second of all, when I originally lined it up, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I screwed up lining out where the sides were because I messed that up real bad. I think I didn't take into account the height of the Thundork.
Oh yeah.
So when I panned up to get the Thundork in the picture, it messed up the framing. So I had to yesterday. I had to completely break down the entire Morker, like 3/5 of the army, and reset it up.
Wow.
It was really annoying.
Yeah.
But I came to the conclusion, you know what would be better is if I take my partition, my black partition that I set up in the background, put it in the middle of the 8-foot table, and set up a different fat mat on either side of it, and do 2 pictures for the markers instead of 1.
I think that might be what you need to do, just because
it worked way better. So what I did was I split it between the main portion of one half was the speed freaks stuff, the bikes, the buggies, the trucks. So I kind of thought of it, all the airplanes. So I thought of it as like the speed freaks and any motorized infantry. Mobilized infantry? Mobile infantry.
Mechanical infantry? Yeah, whatever.
I think mechanized is on bikes. Well, hey, it's both the mechanized and the motorized infantry of my army on that side of the table.
And the best part is right now, at least one of our listeners is like screaming the answer.
Well, I mean, the best part is it doesn't matter. I'm right either way. It had both the motorized and the mechanized infantry on that side of the photograph. And that came out good. I put Mad Doc in there and stuff because they're always in transports. On the other side of the table, I set up the Dread Mob.
Yeah, there you go. What was that?
That was a siren.
Okay.
I set up the Dread Mob on the other side, which included all like the foot infantry and the artillery, stuff like that. The tank bustas, the lutas, and some of the big mechs and stuff. So I thought that like thematically separating the two forces like that made a lot of sense. But those 2 pictures were really good. And so what do I still have to kind of do with some of these old models?
Yeah, that's actually a good question because what are you gonna do?
Like one of my super heavy tanks could use a little brightening up, but I'm not in a big hurry. All of the Storm Boys need to be rebased.
Ooh.
I have like 50 Storm Boys. The best part is you can't even take 50 Storm Boys in a legal match playlist anymore. Not that that really matters, but it's really funny that I'm going to end up rebasing models I'll never use. It's cool. It's fine. It's cool.
Wait, you can't... Did they drop the group size down?
Yeah, they did. It used to be like 20. Now it's 15.
Oh, yeah, so you're going to have 5 that don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd only be able to use it in a narrative list.
Yeah, so. Which is fine. It's I just have to go through and rebase, and that's a lot of rebasing that needs to be done. But, again, I am not unhappy that Storm Boys are on 32mm bases now because they were an absolute freaking nightmare on 25mm bases. They're so tall. Yeah, they're so top heavy that it's really more of a blessing than a curse. It's just you got to do it. So I
remember there was a game that we had played where you had some Storm Boys, and I literally could not get one of your Storm Boys to stand up.
Yeah,
because it kept falling over.
Yeah. Any angle whatsoever, and you're like, it's a mess.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Doesn't bother me. I have other rebasing that needs to be done, but I'm not in a hurry. I've got like 30 black-clad commandos, and I don't see myself needing more than that in a list. I can take more than that, but I don't see myself actually doing it anytime soon.
You never really run that many. I've played you many times over the years, and you only bring the commandos because you and I have that running joke about your main commando.
Yeah, well, that's just it. The Sista B squad and the ones I have painted in camouflage Those are
Uh-huh.
still on 25 millimeter bases. Most of those are metal. So a lot of those
Yeah.
are in slot bases with metal pegs. And I just,
Yeah.
why? Why? I have no
Yeah.
reason to. I'm not doing that.
I'd leave them.
Yeah,
I'd leave them.
I'm going to leave them unless I really, really, really want to use them. They're basically for show at this point. They
Yeah.
might even end up in the case. Along with, I've got the like 20 shooter boys that are the size of modern grots, like second edition metal orcs that look like a
Yeah.
Ralph Bakshi throwback.
Uh-huh.
Those
Oh
are
wow.
also still on 25s, and they're also mostly slaughter bases.
Yeah.
Again, no. Those are
Yeah.
probably going to go in the case along with. I have about 15 Choppa boys that are the same. They're from the second, third edition era, and they're
Yeah.
all metal on slaughter bases. It's just I
Yeah.
do have the 20 models, the 10 Shooter Boys and 10 Choppa Boys from the new MoFos starter kit.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm ever really going to need that many anyways, especially for the Gorkers. Or sorry, the Morkers. Gorkers, I
Yeah.
already have 100 Choppa Boys, right? Painted. I already have 30 Shooter Boys and 100 Choppa Boys painted for those. So
Oh my god.
I
Wow.
don't need to paint them orange. And
No.
the blue ones, like I said, I'm going to be doing 10 of each new ones.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go through the struggle of rebasing all these metal models. I'll just leave them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
So that's fine.
That's yeah.
And I've also got the red, like, winter hat shooter boys that are cute. That,
Yeah.
again, at this point, unless I feel like I really need more shooter boys, the fact that
Yeah.
every one of those has the same head on and they're all like thematic to that,
Yeah.
and they've got their battle wagon, the uh I could repaint that battle wagon if I wanted yet another battle wagon, but I don't I don't see myself taking 5 battle wagons in a list these days.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna stay the color. And I've got some funky stuff like the red bear orc Dakajet.
Yeah.
Why would I repaint that blue? It's the red bear orc.
That's right. It needs to stay red.
The Electorc Mayhem. I'm not going to paint that in my army scheme. That's painted to look like the Electric Mayhem from the Muppets.
Yeah.
Again, all the black clad commandos and the Burnas, they're in the black pajamas, like a neutral color, and they could be run with either clan.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I think that works for their scheme. So I really don't see any need to add blue or orange to any of those. I think they're fine. I might get knocked on for not having a cohesive scheme, but I don't see how.
If the base is the same,
Yeah.
then you could just say that the base is where the cohesion is supposed to take place, which normally,
it's hard to say.
A lot of time what happens.
If somebody wants to knock me on points for that, that's fine. That's up to them. Yeah. That's between them and their paint god. So pictures taken. I'm looking forward to doing some building for once. Building is nice because I can do it. I can hang out with Wendy and watch a show and build some models, which is always nice.
Yeah, that is always fun to do that.
I'm still in the middle of Voidstalker by Aaron Debsky Bowden. I really hate the Night Lords. I think they're terrible people. And we're finally getting to the point where he's trying to impress upon people that they're terrible. I think he was. Here's my headcanon. He started to get returns on, what people thought about the Night Lords novels, the previous 2.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, no, these are not heroes. What are you doing?
These are
no, stop. Stop liking these people. Here's some stuff that'll make you really hate them and want them all to die. I think that's what he's doing in this at the end here in this book.
That tracks. That tracks with kind of who he is. I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that is it for me. Again, I'm going to be switching to building. And one last thing. So I was looking at my squig riders that I painted during the 24 hours. And I'm like, something is missing here. Something is not right with this scheme, and I can't figure out what it is. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, and I really think that the squigs are painted the wrong color. I really want the riders to be in the Gorker scheme. I want to run them as Goths or whatever. I don't think they fit with the Morkers army. I think they fit more with the brutal but cunning side of the army. The way they
I could see
look.
That. Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of those squig riding models are appropriate for my Morker side. And yeah, I think it's the red squigs. I really do. I think that's the problem. And so I went and I repainted one of the models. Instead of I painted over the red with purple.
Okay.
And I think it worked really well. I don't know if I shared that on our
I don't remember seeing that.
You don't remember seeing it?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I can look at Discord.
I think that the contrast is a lot better. I think it helps you see not just the squig, but I think it helps you see the rider a lot better too. You know what I'm saying? Like the rider doesn't get lost in the red of the squig at all, you know? And I'm gonna post it up here in the hosts channel on our Discord just so you can see the difference in those models. Because I think you'll see. I think you'll agree that the orange and yellow really pop way more on the purple squig than they do on the red squig.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, this makes great video or great radio for everyone else. The yellow and I guess that is orange does pop a lot more with that purple background. The squig, the red's just too. It's
close. It's really too close, and the yellow is what pops out. The green pops out nicely, right?
Yeah, and because red versus green is on the opposite sides of the color wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, and which is nice. And I was actually thinking about going ahead and making the squig green instead, but then you would lose the rider.
Yeah, you lose the rider. I think so I can't find my color wheel. It's normally on my desk. It's probably underneath the model. But one of the things I like to do is look at what's right across, what works in a triad scheme, and what works in a quad scheme.
I honestly don't think purple works with any of them except the green.
No, hold on. In the quad scheme, there's a friend of mine painted some Tyranids in that scheme.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, blue,
orange, purple. Yeah,
orange, purple, green, and blue. So I could add blue in there if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll look good next to other models painted blue. Is the thing.
Yeah.
So that is nice. So if I did have both, if I had some of those Gorker squigs in the same army as my Morkers, it would actually look okay.
Yeah, I think the purple works a lot better than the red. It really does allow stuff to pop out.
So that means I'll have to go back and I'll be repainting the cream to yellow on the Beast Nagas. I'll be repainting all the squigs purple, and I'll be repainting I'm going to be brightening up the skin a little bit more. So I have a little bit of work there to do before I go ahead and paint anything new. But I'm not, that's not like a part of the repaint project per se. It's just a matter of getting the bearings on how I'm going to proceed going forward.
Yeah. I keep thinking about, have you ever seen a purple orc before? It's because they're visible.
These orcs are going to look like they're floating above the ground. Like they're flying orcs. They fly on their own. They kind of hover, which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So that is the entirety. That is the sum of my hobby progress. Jason, what have you been working on the past couple weeks?
Not so much. Like we were saying earlier, this is literally the worst time of the year for me. And with COVID, we this is when work got fun. I walked into my classroom that has 18 computer stations, and there are 22 people in there, and I was like, okay, this is bad on so many levels. I don't know what to do. So it's like, how about this? We're not counting attendance. I'm going to record all of our classes on the weekends and upload it, and we'll still hold class. I'm teaching each class twice now, which is really time consuming. But hey, yesterday I recorded an entire month for 2 classes. Just spent the entire day recording. It was terrifying. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of hobby progress. Well, that and I did get the booster last time. We recorded the show. The next day I got the booster. I was good for, 2 days, and then at hour almost 51, the headache began, and so I spent a few days where I just hung out in a dark room, kind of watching TV at the lowest volume possible that I could still hear. So that wasn't a whole lot of fun. That's why I didn't get a whole lot done. But let's talk about what I did get done. The Vorax Automatons. Yes,
those sound like a lot of work.
Well, they're a Forge World kit, so let's think about how great those instructions are going to be just off the bat. They actually weren't too bad. It did take me a couple of days to build them, just because I just was trying to be not in the light and whatnot. So they're built. They're not totally complete. Like, there's these really cool ammo feeds, but you have to go through and do the whole hot water heat gun treatment to bend them into position, and I just haven't done that yet. What's really cool about them is they're like very insectoid. Like, you look at the head, it looks like a mantis head. It just needs the 2 little, like, it needs 2 pinchers, I guess, to really run with that vibe. They are strictly 30K models, but I may proxy them for something else. I actually answered this question later, sorry. But at least they look cool, and they're going to take paint well, because it's resin, it's Forge World. That stuff paints up really nicely for whatever reason, or at least I can paint it up rather quickly and not be worried about it. I haven't decided, though, if I'm going to paint them as Thousand Suns or the Shower Cod Admech scheme, or like 30K Death Guard or 30K Raven Guard. I just haven't made that decision yet. But been thinking about this, and I was trying to figure out how to proxy them, but then I remembered that there was a 9th edition or an 8th edition port of the 30K rule set. So I went to our buddies over at TC Repo, which has one of our cooler ads, and I downloaded the 9th edition port of the Horse Heresy rule set. So actually, have a nice little shout out to one of our partners. Yeah. But I downloaded the port, and it contains the rules for these guys, so I'll just use them in narrative games. Yeah. They'll be a lot of fun. My goal is, not the next 3 months, but this next 12 months is to move into a larger place, so I can actually have people come over and do some narrative Zone Mortalis gaming, or just narrative gaming in particular, make it easier. My apartment is small and annoying, so but these guys will definitely be used in the narrative gaming. I did order some stuff. Got some new detail brushes from Slow Fuse Gaming, or Monument Hobbies. I had a couple of Slow Fuse gaming, what do they call them, Bombwick detonation cord detail brushes, and I've used them all through quarantine, and they're falling apart. It's time to retire them.
Yeah.
When we were doing our live stream, our marathon, I was painting with them thinking, I can't detail with these things. They've fallen apart. It's time to, these guys need to go to the dry brush stack. So ordered some of those. They just came in a couple of days ago, so I'm pretty happy about that. I did back a Kickstarter for some brushes by a group called Cryptic Cabin Hobbies. Because I thought, I'm always down to try new brushes. My brushes tend to last a long time anyways, because I don't, what is it, like there's months I don't paint, and then if something can survive summer with me, then it's normally pretty tough. Let's see. I'm hoping to get some hobby time in this afternoon. I'm supposed to go to a concert in this afternoon, but I don't feel like it because I'm just tired of going to school and I'm tired of working. So I'll probably hobby this afternoon. Okay, so we were talking about books and whatnot. I did get some reading in during my headache days. I read the Alfarius book from Mike Brooks. Mike was the guy who wrote Brutal Cunning, and we interviewed him. Yeah. This is a great book. It's the story of Alfarius and Omegon and their discovery by the Emperor during the Horus Heresy.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah. It's, man, I'm trying not to drop spoilers. I really am. And if I accidentally spoil something, I really apologize. This book really kind of looks at the role of Alfarius as basically almost the Emperor's spy master, or maybe just master spy, I'm not going to go any farther into that because it hasn't been out that long. I will say that I hope Mike Brooks becomes kind of the keeper and author of the Alpha Legion lore and the Origin, Horus Heresy, Siege of Terror books for the Alpha Legion, because I was really impressed, seriously impressed with this book. He's got a lot of callbacks to all the other Alpha Legion novels, or at least any novel that has an Alpha Legion operative. There's a ton of callbacks to Praetorian of Dorn, which is, I guess it's an Imperial Fist novel, but whenever I read it, I see it as an Alpha Legion novel, to be honest. Yeah, that one's a really great one. There's even a callback to one of ADB's books. I want to say it was Gift to the Emperor, but I could be wrong. But there's a callback to there that's pretty cool. But I don't want to drop spoilers for this book or any of those other books, so I'm gonna be quiet now and just recommend you go read it. Just go read it. Let's
do it.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in there I was just like, yes, this is perfect, So, but yeah, that's kind of the hobby stuff I did. Like I said, I'm gonna probably just take the rest of the afternoon off and paint and be happy that I can sleep.
I don't think I want to go out back and work anymore after we record.
Yeah.
I might have to do some. I need Wendy's help because I can't. I need to fold this giant freaking tarp. It's enormous. I don't know why I bought this tarp. Come to find out, the reason I bought the tarp is you're supposed to fold it once before you put it on the pool. I mean, I guess I could have gotten a pool cover, but shut up. Because last year I didn't fold it first.
Yeah.
And so light got through, which is not great. It's decidedly not great.
That's when that's why it was funky this year.
Yeah, it was super funky. It was real funky. It was real bad. Okay,
because I remember you sent me pictures for 4 or 5 days trying to nuke the fun bits that had shown up. Yeah. So I'll need her help with that. And Sonny's tired. I'm tired. It's been a long day. So maybe I still got 2 more things to talk about.
Though. Oh, you still have okay. I'm not following.
I got a game in.
Oh, and I got games in too. Okay.
Yeah, I know you did.
Let's talk about our games. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to go first on games, or I'm going to go? Mine's short.
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
So I played 2 Kill Team games with Pat. Pat came over. I need to call him and get him to play in Must. I didn't talk about these last time, did I? No.
We haven't talked about Pat in a while.
Okay.
Because I know he's been hiding.
We played I think I was planning on playing with Pat. And he came over and we tried out the new Kill Team rules and we had a lot of fun. We actually started a campaign. I built a Dark Eldar force, and he built a Death Guard force. He whooped my butt in the first game. I whooped his butt in the second game. It was great. We just used book missions. And if I were a good podcaster, I would have written down what missions I played and took notes, but I didn't do that. It does seem like advancement is kind of slow. You only get experience points
if you don't die.
Yeah, for very specific things. It's not one of those things where everybody on the team gets 1 experience point if they participate. There's no participation experience trophy in the new kill team.
Yeah.
So, but we had fun. I've heard people complain about the critical hit system. It really didn't bother us. Like, it didn't stand out as something that was a problem, but other people are more critical than we are. We had a fun time together, so that was really cool. I love the idea of kill team, man. You know, putting together just a random force of models that you wouldn't otherwise put together.
Yeah.
And they've already announced another kill team expansion with Sisters of Battle Initiates and Tau. And the Sisters of Battle Initiates are new models, and the Tau are getting a new upgrade sprue for their box, which hopefully means Tau will be coming soon.
I'll definitely grab that one because I can always use more sisters.
Yeah.
So
no, it was good. I'm gonna contact him again and see if he wants to play another game because that was a lot of fun. See if I can't get him over. Maybe he can help me put the tarp on.
Yes.
Oh, you want to come over and play a game? Oh, by the way. Oh, one other thing, Pat. Can you help me put this tarp on? So I also played 2 games at the store. I played 2 match play games.
Yeah.
1 game at the store with Curtis. He played his salamanders, and I played my orcs.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of trying to play with infiltrating the commandos and kind of blocking people from getting too close. It really didn't work. All these little minor, like, teeny movements and thinking about like area range of effectiveness, and oh my god, it's just too much for me. I'm gonna do my best when we go to Du Bois, but I'm gonna get my butt whooped. So that's fine. Also played against Skip John at his house. He whooped my butt too, but we played on, instead of for terrain, we used his unopened boxes of Empire models, which was hilarious. It was really funny. The most important thing, 2 important things about that game. John's fiance is a really good cook, and I got a really good meal, and I stole her shoes. She has gray shoes with like netting on the outside, and I have gray shoes with netting on the outside. So I stole her shoes. We apparently have the same shoe size. They just felt weird. I'm like, what did I do to these shoes? Did I pull them off without untying them and mess them up? No, they're just somebody else's shoes.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah. So yeah,
I wondered about that. I wondered about that Facebook exchange. What was going on there?
Yeah, it was really interesting. That's what happened. I enjoyed it. I had some good games. I'm working on just learning the orcs.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. I got in the Kill Team game with Keith. He's putting together this interesting narrative campaign. I think he's wanting to do kind of a Kill Team 40K, multiple game systems on one campaign area, one world. But the world's kind of a blasted and barren world that's infested with a remnant of Tyranids. There's just enough biomass to keep them alive, but not enough for them to escape. So, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. I did run my 1,000 Suns versus his Nids, basically just to establish kind of a beachhead on the planet for my 1,000 Suns, to search for a sorcerer's artifact. I did, quote-unquote, win. We're putting these in quotes because, Yeah, there's I think the sorcerer was left on the table, and maybe the guy with the Soul Reaper cannon. Um, and my rubrics did survive the battle without battle scars. But it was a pretty hard fought battle, and this was going to be a tough campaign. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we can go through and do Zone Mortalis out of this. We can do Kill Team. We can do regular sized games of 40K. Do some narrative stuff as well. So yeah, I think he's putting together. I think he's putting this together on one of the sites or something like that as kind of a, hey, this is tracking what we're doing. So that's going to be fun. We only got one game in though, just because we were working on something else and ran out of time. So
okay.
But yeah, and then we have where are we going next, Adam?
We're going Beyond the Fridge.
Good. About 5 seconds, I can do something like that. Okay. Cool. Okay, so a lot of our beginning of this episode was Beyond the Fridge.
Was, but I'm just having a lot of fun. Folks should, if you're in the area, the Adirondacks are a beautiful place. It's really nice. Lots of ticks, though. Jesus. Found a tick on Sunny already. It's ridiculous.
I was looking at my Facebook memories, and I have all these memories popped up from being in, upstate during the end of September, beginning of October. It's just like, man, there's just some areas that are absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. It's just like obnoxiously beautiful, and then I think, but in about 6 weeks, it's going to look like a frosted hellscape. So, so enjoy it now.
Yeah, we have to enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be not great very soon. Hey, you know what though? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going with Jay on a hike in October. Yeah. Which will be nice. Yeah, that'll be a good one. I love October hiking as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains...
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it
That's
rains,
the problem with hiking in Texas is that, you go out hiking, it's like, hey, today's high is 92. I hope you brought a gallon of water or two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Even up here, man, you go hiking without water, you're going to die.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're doing that. I'm glad you and Jay are going to go do that, because that sounds like fun.
Yeah, about 6 weeks ago, I went back on diet. So 60 maximum 60 carbs, minimum 60 protein grams. I haven't ended a day below 60 carbs yet, but that's like what I'm trying to do. So I've been, most days I'm real close, and for maintaining someone with gastric bypass, for maintaining your weight, it's about 120 carbs.
Okay.
So as long as I'm below that, I'm probably fine, as long as I'm reasonably active. I was steadily decreasing for a while, even during the fair. Actually, no, the fair, that was last week. Anyways, I've been decreasing, and then last week, I think it was after the fair. It was my birthday. That's what did it. It was my birthday weekend. I went off the rails. Gained, but then this week, today, I found out I was even lower than the week before last. So, like, I lost, gained, and then big loss. So that was really good. Really happy with that. What else do I have going on? Oh, we're just having a conversation because we haven't talked. So apparently back in 1996, the halcyon years of me being drunk all the time and high all the time in college. Apparently at the College of St. Rose, they had a blood drive, and I'm like, yeah, I did give blood, whatever. I also signed up for bone marrow donor. And they called me on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
No, they called me last Thursday. Like, hey, yeah, some stuff may have changed, but Right. So, would you be willing to be mildly inconvenienced for a short time so that you can literally save someone's life because you're a match? What do you say to that? Right? Oh, those weren't the exact words they used, but that was the context.
Okay, 96? Dude,
1996. I was 18.
Hold on. How many places have I lived
Right?
in since 96?
They tracked me down. You know what? You know what's great? The internet. If you look up Adam Fassel address, I'm sure you'll find my address. Right?
Yeah, probably.
That's the thing. You can easily find someone's address. If you want to steal my listeners, that if you want to do that, go ahead and look me up. You can steal my army. It's in my garage right now. So if you want to steal all my orcs,
or you can mail him second edition.
You shoot your damn face. Anyways, yeah, like they call me. They're like, "Oh, do you want to save someone's life, or do you want to just not be inconvenienced for a few hours or a few days?" Like, you son of a.
Wow.
I hate you people. So I guess there's two things you can give. You can give, and it's based on the needs of the patient. So you can either have your stem cells extracted from your blood, or you can actually donate bone marrow.
Yeah.
And this person right now just needs the stem cells. So you go on like this drug cocktail that forces your body to produce the stem cells. Then they suck it out of you.
Okay.
And it's like mildly inconvenient. You need a day off, but because I don't know, something about it really exhausts you. I assume it's kind of like having an infection that causes your body to produce the stem cells, and like you're all achy and stuff from your bones or whatever producing all this stem cells.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a 1-day inconvenience, and hopefully that'll work.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So do you have a Beyond the Fringe, buddy?
Yeah, I do. So I have this feeling I could turn this section easily into what toys did Jason get from work this week or this month without even trying. So I got a new interface, a Motu Mark of the Unicorn Ultralight Mark V USB audio interface. It's really cool. A lot of cool stuff in there, but it's way more interface than would be needed for a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think this is what you should get for your podcast, don't. It's just, if you want something for a podcast, message me. We'll talk, but don't get this. This is just something for fun, for nerdiness. So let's see. It's running 8 onboard inputs, so I can run 8 mics, 2 XLR, 6 TRS. I have 10 onboard outputs, so I could send out to 10 different speakers or whatever I want. It also has this cool light pipe optical in-out, so I get 8 inputs and outputs from another piece of gear, and an RCA SPDIF in and out for 2 more ins and outs that I could connect to a preamp and do all sorts of cool stuff. Haven't had a chance to run it through its paces yet. But I've had a Motu interface in the past. I remember really loving it, and this one's really cool to play with. So, but if you're looking for an interface for a podcast, don't get this. Don't. Just message me. We'll talk. I've got a couple of other recommendations that are $500 cheaper.
Right? There's a certain point at which there's diminishing returns on your investment.
Yeah. This thing is awesome for what I do, but I'm doing more than just the podcast. I'm doing other crazy stuff. So yeah. But yeah, this is a fun piece of gear. I've got some other gear that's come in, but this is the one that I'm most happy about. And I don't know if y'all want to hear me gush over Neumann KM1E4 mics. I think it'd get real embarrassing for literally everybody involved, except for me, but whatever. We do have some astropathic communique stuff, though, or at least I wrote some stuff in.
Yeah. What are we talking about today? I mean, there was a lot of stuff released and whatnot.
Yeah, there was a bunch of Aeronautica stuff.
Oh yeah, the Space Marines and Eldar are coming out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy, just because I kind of want Battlefleet Gothic more than I want
Right,
Aeronautica.
right.
You know,
Yeah, me too. And right now, Battlefleet Gothic is being dominated by the 3D printing world, right?
yeah, it
They're
is.
basically throwing money away, but at the same time, they can hardly keep up with their 40K and AOS releases. So
Yeah,
I can see why it's tough.
yeah. I could see why they wouldn't want to. How can I put this? How they might want to just kind of let it roll for a while until they can get to it, if that makes sense. The one thing though I'm really excited about the release that was announced today though was the Koyo Nurgling plush will be released next Saturday.
Heck yeah, plushies. That's right. How dare I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah, the plushie line has begun. People have been asking for plushies for years.
Yeah,
Begging for plushies, and we are very excited here at Masters of the Forge. I can't wait. Now the
yeah,
problem is now we need a mini pet game to go with it. And I think, with
yeah,
GW's history of apps, it could be tough. They need to outsource it. But I think that it's only a short time coming. I can't wait.
yeah.
I haven't ordered one yet. I did, in fact, though, order myself an orc mask for the boys, and I
All
ordered
right.
Quinn a little Nurgling T-shirt.
Oh, oh, that's
Awesome!
pretty cute.
Very
Yeah,
excited about that. And yeah, well, yeah, the orc releases are coming slowly but steadily, um,
yeah,
and I'm looking forward to it. I have the Beast Boss on Squigosaur on pre-order uh, with Flipside, but
yeah,
yeah, just more and more models, more and more
yeah.
models. The sister stuff looks awesome. Kill Team stuff looks awesome. It's a lot. You don't have to buy everything though, everybody. That's the
No,
thing. That's what you have to remember. Even though the releases are coming fast and hot, you don't have to get on the bandwagon. There's nothing saying you have to invest in everything. Invest your
yep.
dollars where you can and where you think it'll be used the most.
And Warhammer Plus, I think we're both subscribers. And I'm not a big video fan, I guess. I mean, I'll watch some. I'm going to wait till some of the things like Angels of Death, like they've been completely released, and then I'll go back and watch them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the
Angel's Death
Citadel,
is amazing, by the way.
I keep hearing that, and I keep thinking I'm not. I don't. I just want to sit there and binge it like in a day or two.
Yeah, that's
That's kind of
fair.
what I want
It's
to do.
the good thing is most places are good about spoiler text and stuff. So
Yeah. The one thing I was wanting to talk about that I've really, really liked, under the Citadel Color Masterclass button, I don't know. There's a wet blending technique with
yeah,
Lewis,
yeah.
and that is an amazing hobby tutorial. I mean, she does a bunch of stuff with Zinch in there,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but
she does.
that video alone is worth probably about 1 or 2 months of subscription, in
Mm,
my opinion,
yeah,
just because of what I learned in that one video.
yeah. She's really
So
good at explaining
yeah,
things. Um, someone. So the again, I'm reacting to online complaints. Like,
uh huh,
why don't they let their presenters use whatever language they want in instead of reading a script using Games Workshop language? I think that's not. I don't. I don't understand that complaint or that argument.
it's easier. Then you don't have to go through and like think of how to do this and this and this. If it's written out for you, it makes a script makes
Yeah.
life a lot easier.
Having a common language is very important when you're teaching people
Yeah,
how to do things. I understand
yeah,
that there are a lot of really popular painter channels out there and they say whatever
yeah,
they want, but at the same time, if you if you're learning painting, it's probably extremely helpful to have a common language from video
yeah,
to video. So I don't
yes,
get it. Louise is still I mean, script or no, she has a great personality and she does a great
yeah,
job of explaining everything, and her
yeah,
enthusiasm's great. I watched the big Ultramarines versus Death Guard
The narrative?
narrative battle report, and I thought it was great. It was
I
long
watched
too.
I watched the first 10 or 15 minutes of it, and then I started to fall asleep because
Yeah.
it was late. I had it on late, and I was just
I
can't make
actually
it to the rest.
genuinely sat and watched it. Like,
Yeah,
I sat and watched it like a show, which I don't usually do with battle reports because it was
yeah,
really interesting. And I thought it was a lot of fun. And they used some custom rules. It was a very simple mission where
yeah,
the Death Guard player got to recycle, and all they had to do was kill Gilliman
yeah,
as the main as the goal. If Gilliman lives, Ultramarines win. Gilliman dies, the Death Guard win. And I don't. It was a lot of fun, and you could tell like some of the comments were, "Hey, in you can't have a detachment with both Ultramarines and an attachment with an Imperial Knight and still have all your chapter tactics and whatever." And it's like, that's nobody cares.
If you might have noticed, the title said narrative.
Yeah, like even in narrative, technically you're supposed to blah 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 blah, but nobody cares.
Yeah,
Nobody
you're telling a
cares.
story, and
Yeah,
Morty versus Bobby G is
yeah,
or Robo G, if you want to call him that,
right.
is
Break the rules.
yeah,
Just break the rules. It's fine.
it's a
It's
great
fine.
story. Yeah,
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 in the beginning they did say that they were going to use in custom rules, but at the same time, I kind of do agree with one thing. They probably should have said, "Oh, by
hmm
the way, normally these are the normal things that you would do in a match play game, and we're not doing that, or we're doing
yeah,
things you normally wouldn't do in a match play game." I think that would be helpful. That's a good argument
yeah,
to make, to let people know, so later on they're not confused or they don't understand. They understand what, because when you say that, you're
yeah,
actually teaching people something like, oh, normally in matched play you get to do this, but or you wouldn't get to do this, but we're doing it anyways. So you're actually informing people of things that they're supposed to be doing in matched play, even though they're playing in narrative play.
yeah.
So that was my one note from that. Yeah,
Well,
I'm enjoying it.
if I remember right, they were doing it in waves of 1,000 points.
Mm-hmm.
That was the each turn Nurgle got to bring on 1,000 points,
That's
and I guess that
correct.
was how they were recycling. And I just kept thinking, yeah, that's the unending wave of chaos. I
Mm-hmm.
think we did kind of a similar game with orcs one time, didn't we? That was with Phil,
Mm-hmm.
where you're just basically
If a unit of boys is destroyed, they
died,
just come back.
yeah. And I think that's a great idea. That's
Right. Especially if
yeah,
the game is timed and you have a
yeah,
specific goal. A bunch of infantry arriving on the attacker's battlefield edge is not going to really have much bearing on the game,
right,
right? It'll
yeah,
it'll just allow you to have a chance at
yeah,
maybe doing something, right?
yeah,
So I don't think it's as big a deal. Like, recycling units is not as big a deal as some people make it out to be, unless of course you're gaming for that, in which case you're narrative playing wrong.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like
that's the problem. That's the big problem with a lot of these things where I see people complaining about their crusade campaigns or being concerned about what's going on in their crusade campaigns, and it's people ruining it.
yeah,
Like, you have a couple people ruin it for everybody else because they'd probably rather be playing matched play, and they're just, I'll show them why this is a bad system, and
yeah,
they'll do something completely ridiculous just to throw a wrench in the works, which is really unfortunate. I wish, if you don't like playing narrative play, then why are you trying to? Then don't
why are you
play.
doing it?
Why are
Yeah,
you doing this? So I don't know.
there's plenty of people to play matched.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
lots of people to play matched with. Why are you trying to ruin people's narrative campaign by being a jerk face? Don't be
yep.
a jerk face. Be a happy face.
Happy face.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What else are we looking over? We've got book reports we both talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about ADB's Void something. Void Stalker? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get Alfarius. Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
then I guess all we have left is point out that this week started the new season of British Bake Off. So very excited about that. So I'm going to do that with Erin tonight. And
all right.
watching Lower Decks with her as well. So I'm very excited about that. Now let's talk about next week. All right, next episode, we should definitely maybe try to do that successors topic we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to either do that, or I will start working on looking at what they're doing with Flashpoint Octarius. We've got a couple issues of White Dwarf with Octarius. I want to see what the heck they're doing with it and try to guess, because obviously all the releases are messed up.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But until then,
play the game the way you want to.
All right. We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge.
And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
If you'd like to engage with us directly, you can always join our Discord server.
To do so, or if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor,
contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com.
Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersoftheforge. Thanks.
The music used in this podcast was made by Parad of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission. This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling. The feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.